Alright, good morning students. Welcome to Miss Emery's math class. Today we are going to be focusing on multiplication. I have our cards here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit here and shuffle them right quick. I'm going to hold up a card and we will figure out how to get the answer. So I'm going to show you a couple different ways to get the answer. So let's get started here. Alright, so I'm just going to pick a random one, set our cards right here. Our first one is 9 times 2. So Miss Emery's going to model 9 times 2. So we're going to do 9 circles. So here's our 9 circles. Now, we're going to put 2 in every circle. There's our 2. Now we count our 2's. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. So 9 times 2 equals 18. Now, if that's not the way you learn, we can do another way. We can skip count by 9. So 9, 18. That's also 9 times 2. Or another way you could do it is 9 plus 9. Also 18. Or if you want to break it down, you can do 9 times 1 is 9. And you can write down your tables. So, for example, I'm going to grab the eraser. We can write down our 9 tables. All different ways to find the same answer. Skip count, add, draw your circles, or write your times tables and find your answer. So, our next one is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to find a one that's a little bit trickier. Let's see. Here's a good one. Times 5. Now first it's gonna look, it's a big number. It's a little scary. But we can do our same method that we did last time. So let's draw 12 circles this time. And it doesn't matter if they're perfect. Circle's a circle. Alright. Now this time we're going to put 5 in each circle. So you can either do your tallies or you can write the number 5. Miss Emery's going to write the number 5 because I draw and write very largely. So let's do this again. So you can write 5 in the circle or do your tallies, whatever you like to do. Now, we have 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. So 5 12 times. So if we count by 5s, we're going to do 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. So our answer is 60. So you can skip count by 5s, however many times the front number says. Now, another way you can do this is, once again, write out your 12s. So 12 times 1 is 12. 12 times 2, 24. 12 times 3, 36. 12 times 4, 48. 12 times 5 is 60. So if you didn't want to count by 5s, you could add 12 5 times, which is 12, 24, 36, 48, and 60. Our answer for this one is 60. Now, another way you could do this, and this is how Miss Emery does it, I take what I already know. So, for example, let's do 12 times 7. Okay, well, I know that 12 times 5 is 60. So, we're skip counting by 12. So I'll do 12 and 12 is 24. Well, we already know that 12 times 5 is 60. And we're skip counting by 12s. So if we're adding 2 more to the 5, which makes it 7, we're going to add 24 to our 60. Now 60 plus 24 equals 84. Now, this method will not make sense or work in every scenario. This is just how I look at it if I already know what I'm doing. Let's do 2 more multiplication problems. Okay. Let's pick an interesting one. Let's see. All right. So we did our 12s. Let's do 11 times 9. Now, a lot of you probably already know this one, but we're going to draw it out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oops, that circle was a little too small. 10, 11. Okay, so we've got our 11 circles. Now, you can either do tallies or you can write the number. Miss Emery's going to write the number because it's going to be a lot easier than drawing 9 tallies, because these circles are not big enough for that. Alright, so now we've got our 9s and our circles. Now, there are multiple ways we can do this. We can skip count by 11s. So we can do 11, 22, 33, 44, 55, 66, 77, 88, 99. So our answer is 99. Because we counted by 11s. Now, if you don't know how to count by 11s, we can count by our 9s. So that would be 9, 18, 36, And Miss Emery needs her calculator because Miss Emery does not know these off the top of her head. And that's okay. Alright. So, Miss Emery is going to turn this on and use the calculator because I forgot what comes next. Oh, 45. I should have known that. 54. And it's okay to use your calculator. You're not going to know all the answers all the time. That's alright, because Miss Emery definitely doesn't know all the answers. Sitting here using a calculator. Oops. And then we do, oops. Some of these I don't know off the top of my head. And 90, and then 90 now. Alright, so, now that Miss Emery had to use her calculator here, we can also count by nines. 9, 18, 36, 45, 54, 63, 72, 81, 90, and 99. Now, if you're like Miss Emery and you don't remember that off the top of your daggone head, and you don't have a calculator, teach you another way. So, here's our board. Skip counted by 9s and 11s. We drew out our little circles, and there's our problem at the top. Now, Miss Emery's going to erase this and show you another way to do this. If you know your 11 tables, you know that anything times 1 is itself. Well, if you think about 11, it's just 2 1s. So, if you do 11 times 1, it's just 11 because you're not adding anything. It's staying the same. Now, if you do 11 times 2, you get 22 because you're doubling it. 11 times 3, 33. 11 times 4, 44. 11 times 5, 55. 11 times 6, 66. And so on and so forth. Now, if you don't know your 11s, but you know your 9 tables, then you can do it by 9s. 9 times 1 is 9. 9 times 2 is 18. 9 times 3 is 27. 9 times 4, 36. 9 times 5 is 45. 9 times 6 is 54. 9 times 7 is 63. 9 times 8 is 72. Someone messed that up. 9 times 9 is 81. 9 times 10 is 90. And 9 times 11 is 99. So if you don't know your 11s, you can do it by 9s. But 11 times 9 is 99. Now, since Miss Emery has some extra time to keep you all a little later today, we're going to do ones from every number category. Meaning, whatever the numerator is going to be the column that we multiply from. So, we're going to do from 1 to 12, because that is all the cards that Miss Emery has. So, I'm going to do some ones that you may not know. So, 9, 10, 11, 7, 2, let's do 6, 4, 12, actually, I think I got a better one, 4, 7, 'Kay, so Miss Emery's going to finish up finding cards here. I think Miss Emery needs one for 8. Yes, she does. Oh. Let's see. Let's do that one. Alright. So, now we have a multiplication fact from every number on the 1 to 12 multiplication table. So, Miss Emery is going to kind of sort of mix these up if she can get this off the board. Thank you. Okay. So, Miss Emery is just going to kind of shift through. And we're going to pick one. First one is 10 times 8. So this is from our tens category. Now, a lot of us know how to multiply by 10 because it's simple. You're skip counting by 10. But if you are, you forget or you get anxious and you have a test and you don't remember, we're going to draw out our circles. So we're going to do 10 circles. And we're going to do them in the format of 3 in a row. Okay, so now we've got our 10 circles. So, let's move that. Our 10 circles. Now, you can either do the tallies or the numbers, whatever you prefer. Miss Emery's going to do numbers because it's easier for me. Alright. Alright, so now that our numbers are all in our little circles, they're all happy in their bubbles. Now, you can add or multiply by 8s. So we've got 8 times 1 is 8, times 2, 16, 8 times 3 is 24, times 4, let me double check this, because Miss Emery does not know off the top of her head. Oops. Okay, it's 32, that's what I thought. Okay, so let's say, for example, you get nervous and you don't know, you forgot how to skip count by 10, but you know your 8s. So 8 times 1 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16, 8 times 3 is 24, 8 times 4 is 32, 8 times 5 is 40, 8 times 6 is 48, 8 times 7 is 56, 8 times 8 is 64, 8 times 9 is 72, and 8 times 10 is 80. But you may say, well, the 10 is in front. Well, yes, the 10 is in front. But if we count by our 10s or multiply, 10 times 1 is 10. 10 times 2 is 20. 10 times 3 is 30. 10 times 4 is 40. 10 times 5 is 50. 10 times 6 is 60. 10 times 7 is 70. And 10 times 8 is 80. So our answer, ladies and gentlemen and pals, is 80. So 10 times 8 is 80. That one back in the pile. Our next one is going to be 4 times 5. Now, a lot of you may already know this one. But, just in case, we're going to draw 4 circles. I'm going to put the number 5 in all of them. Now, we got one of 2 ways we can do this. We can do 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5, which gives us our answer of 20. Or, if you don't know your 5s, you can do 4. 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 is also 20. Now, to get a visual representation rather than just knowing that off the top of your head, you've got 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 3 is 15. And 5 times 4 is 20. So, I'm going to do this way and show you this. So, you're going to do plus 5, and plus 5. So all you're doing is adding 5 every time. Miss Emery's going to do one more before I let you out for recess, because we don't have time to do all of them. But I do want to go over one from the 12 category, because I noticed that is one that a lot of people struggle with. So we're going to do 12 times 12. So there are multiple ways you can do this. So of course we have our circles, or you can do 2 digit by 2 digit. So you do 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 1 is 2. Cross that out. 1 times 2 is 2. So actually, you put your 0 under your 4, 2, and then 2 times 1 is 2. Right? Okay, Miss Emery had a brain thing over here. Okay, wow. Alright, yeah. 2, anytime, or 1 times 1, my bad. That was Miss Emery's fault. So then we do 4 plus 0 is 4. 2 plus 2 is 4. We bring down our 1. You got 144 unless you're Miss Emery and you have a brain fart. And then you almost put down the wrong answer. Or you can do your circles and skip count by 12s. And yes, this is kind of funny that Miss Emery actually forgot how to math for a second. So yes, that is actually kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie, that was really funny. So you got your circles with your 12s. You can multiply like that. Now, you can also count by 12. So 12, 24, 48, and Miss Emery already forgot the next one. 60, 72, 84, 96, 108, 120, and 132, you can skip count by 12s. 12, 24, 48, 60, 72, 84, 96, 108, 120, 132, 144. So, I hope that makes more sense, and I'm going to dismiss you out to recess. So, I will see you all when you get back.